Sorry. Yeah. So yesterday we completed shell scripting. These are the concepts, and we have practiced few use cases, and then we completed our RoboShop using shell script. And then I have given you a few assignments. Please try to complete whenever you are free. Okay. So today we are going to write one final shell script. So what are we going to do is create instances automatically. And then create Route 53 records. Okay. So now let's do this. Whenever you want to practice the RoboShop shell scripting, you can run the script that will create the instances, and then it will create the Route 53 records as well. Then you can practice your shell script. You can clone the shell scripting repository inside the server, and then you can run the script. Okay. So for this, we need AWS command line. Okay. And let us have one workstation. Practice. Just 1 second, I'll be back. Yeah, hi, sorry. Launching the instance. So here I need to tell you a simple concept of IAM. So we are going to discuss a simple concept now, but in depth we will get it later. That is authentication and then authorization. Okay. So when you are logging to the AWS server, you need to have username and password. Okay. So this is for authentication. Just like you have your company ID card to enter the company premises, but you are not authorized to enter each and every project. Okay. You are authorized only to enter your project area. Okay. Similar, that is called authorization. Similarly, so you are using with the admin user, but if you create another user, they don't have the authorization to create each and every service. So like AWS has all services, like I mean, thousands of services. Okay. If you create user, he can't get admin access. You will give limited access. that is through permissions. Okay. So you will give certain permissions. So this is universal concept. Okay. Not only for AWS, this is called as IAM, Identity Access Management. Identity Access Management. So here we have user, just like in our Linux server, and then we have group, we have permissions, we have something called as roles. So we have these four concepts in AWS IAM, not only AWS IAM, everywhere, every software system. So there will be user, he has username and password, and users can be added to the groups, and every group or user have certain permissions. Only they can access that. But here something called as role. So role is for non-humans. Okay. Suppose you have EC2 server for your project. Okay. This is for our project, RoboShop project. And then from here, you should not be able to create other services like Route 53, EKS, load balancers. So you should have AWS services also. AWS services, that is like EC2 instances, also should have certain permissions so that they can't create resources. Why should you have AWS services also too? Certain permissions is because we have AWS command line here. Let me take the IP address. So we have AWS command line. Using AWS command line, you can create ideally all the services in AWS cloud. Okay. So that is why AWS introduced a concept called role for non-humans. You can attach this, you should attach this role to the AWS services so that they can't create resources. This is the purpose. Role is for non-humans. Your AWS instances also can create the AWS resources like Route 53, load balancers, and Kubernetes, S3 buckets, many, ideally all services. So that is why AWS introduced a concept called role. There you will give permissions. If you just check here, instance actions, and then there is a security, IAM role. And right now, nothing is attached. So your AWS server cannot do anything. Now let me create one IAM role. So I'm into IAM. There is a role, create role. As I said, it is not for humans. It is for AWS services. For example, I'm selecting EC2 and then next. Now here you need to select the permissions. If it is normal user, you can have username and password and the permissions. If it is role, then first thing, what is the service? In our case, it is EC2. And then second, what are the permissions? Okay. Right now, I'm going to give administrator access. Okay, this one. It means your AWS instance can do anything. And then next, you can give one name. RoboShop shell. Okay, you can see here your EC2 instances can assume the role, and So check the permissions. Mhm. Okay, let it run. So it can do anything. That's what it means. Okay. I just gave one name, RoboShop shell, and this is the, you can see it has all the permissions. Allow 385 services, full access. So that is what it means, the permissions. Okay. Basically, star means all the resource, allowing everything. We'll detail it. We will discuss in detail about this IAM. Just for now, I'm telling you like this. Okay. RoboShop shell is created. Now you can only attach this for EC2 instance. Okay. Now I'm going here and then actions, security, modify IAM role. By default, you can see RoboShop shell. Okay. And then update. Okay. So that's it. You created the instance, you created one role and you gave administrator access and then you attach to the EC2 instance. So now your EC2 instance can do anything. So that is like, so this is your AWS account. Inside your account, you have EC2. And you are assigning a role. Now it can create anything like EC2, like Route 53. Okay. So this instance now can do these things. Okay, so this one role is important. How is it doing using AWS command line? So now let us just take an example. AWS command line to create EC2 instance. So this is what they are saying. AWS EC2 run instance, select the image ID and then security group and all this. Okay, now let us modify this. AWS EC2, AWS is the command line, EC2, and then we are creating the instance. What is the image ID? So let us take our image ID. So you will get it from here. AMIs, select public images, and then DevOps practice. This is our AMI ID. Okay, this one. By default, count is 1. You no need to give this. And instance type t2.micro. Key name, we are not giving anything. And then security group ID. What is the security group ID? So you can get it from here. Allow all. This is your security group ID. You can give this. Subnet is not required. So if you run this, you will get an instance. Now let us run this command. Immediately there will be one instance created here. You can see it is in pending state. So it is getting created. Now it gave us some output. You can just check here. So this is the output it gave us. So what it is saying, it is giving us all the information it created. Somewhere there will be IP address as well. You can see this is the private IP address. And then there will be somewhere public IP address also. As such, public. Okay, so in instance created immediately, public IP address will take some time. So that is why we got private IP address. Let us search. And it has given us private IP address. It has given us. Okay, no problem. It created in US East 1C. Instance type is this one. Instance ID. It is giving us all the details. So from this, we need to query our private IP address. So that we need to create our Route 53 record as well. So this is the private IP address. Okay, how can you query from this information? So that is, there is something called JQ. Second. There is something called JQ. JQ is nothing but Java query. So this is JSON query. So this is the JSON information we got it. So within that, you need to query for the information of this one. So inside private IP addresses, and then yeah, so this one. Okay. Yeah. So this is in inside instances. Soon we will discuss about this. And inside instances, you have something called private IP address. Private IP address. So now how you can how you can get the data is pipe symbol, JSON query, -r. We will understand this. No need to worry about this. Dot instances. Inside instances, it is the index. I mean list of indexes. Suppose we are creating only one instance, then it is referred as 0. If you are creating multiple instances, for example, 3, 4 instances through this command line. Okay. So first instance. Second. Yeah, first instance is 0th index. Second instance is first index. Okay. So instances of 0 dot And what is the reference? Private IP address. This is the reference. So now you run this, what will happen? It will create one instance and it will give you the private IP address immediately. So now let us just check. See, it created an instance, one more instance, and it is giving us the private IP address immediately, 39.66. So it will take few seconds to get the public IP address. Okay. So now what is our script should do here? Create all the instances like MongoDB and then Redis, MySQL, RabbitMQ, catalog, user, cart, shipping, payment, dispatch, and then web. Okay, so it should create all the instances and update Route 53 record. Okay, so now let us do this. I'm creating one script here. Create ec2.sh. Okay, /bin/bash. So now you know we discussed arrays concept. I'm just giving names equal to, this is arrays, all these names. So we discussed this, right? Let us go to that. In our shell script repo, we discussed arrays concept. This is how you give array, and then this is how you will get the entries. Okay, so I'm giving arrays like this. This is our array. How you will loop through the array is for I in, so names, sorry, dollar, and like this, names of at the rate. Okay, so now you will get all these names into this for loop, and do done. I'm going to create here echo, just printing it. Name is $I. Okay, let us push and then test. Okay, push. That was shell script, and then just giving some meaningful name, add. Okay, it's the line repeated. Oh, sorry, but thank you. But I in this one, correct? Okay, and here I added this shell script. Okay. Cloning here, git clone cd shell script sh create. So it is in RoboShop shell. Sorry. Git clone RoboShop shell. So here sh create EC2 sh. It is printing the names one by one. Now let us use this feature to create our instances. But here we have some condition. If MySQL or MongoDB instance type should be t3.medium. Okay, this is the condition. For all others, it is t2.micro. Okay, so this is the condition we should check. So now what will happen? Let us write a condition. I'm creating a variable instance type. Okay. But now it is empty. So let us take a condition. If, so you know, in programming, OR symbol is this one, two pipes. And this one is AND symbol. This is OR. So this is AND. So our condition is the name can be either MongoDB or MySQL. We should create the instance type is t3.medium. So that is why here, if name, it means $I. If $I equal to $I equal to MongoDB. MongoDB or $I equal to MySQL. Either of the instance, what I'm saying here is instance type equal to t3.medium. Else instance type equal to t2.micro. Okay. And then fi. That's it. So this is the condition. Okay. Now just creating, I'm writing like this instance. Now let us keep our command line here itself. Okay. Let us create the variables for image ID. And then security group ID. That is dollar image ID. Instance type is dollar instance type. Security group ID is dollar security group ID. Okay, that's it. And now, how do you know which instance is what? You are getting with blank names here. Okay, so that is, you can tag the instance. Tagging is after the instance creation, you can tag it, or before itself, you can tag it. There is an extra option like this. Tag specifications, and here you give like this. Okay. Group ID and tag specifications. Resource type is instance, and inside keys is called name, but value here is $I. Okay, you should have double quotes. Okay, that's it. So each time it will loop through it. First, it will check if the instance name is either MongoDB or MySQL. If it is not that, then it will set the instance type .t2.micro, and it will just print creating instance, and then it will create the instance, and it will set the name also. Okay, let us try this. Git pull and sh create ec2.sh. Oh, some error here. What is the error? Yeah, here it is double. So this is how you will compare, correct? So let me delete if any instances are created. Created. I'm deleting all the instances. Okay. Now let us push. Let us pull. Now run again. Same error again. Dollar I equal to MongoDB, correct? Dollar I equal to MySQL, correct? So it is created, but some missing line number 12. This line number 12 here. This is the one. Should not have strike gap. So let me delete the instances again. Set workstation, delete everything. Yeah, I'm using extra brace because you have or condition between multiple things. Okay. Yeah, this brace may be a problem. Yeah, and let us implement our JQ. Sorry. So it is our query JQ, this one. This one, if you implement, okay, will give us one IP address, that is IP address dollar. This one. Okay. So you are creating the instance and that is giving the private IP address and you are saving it in a variable called IP address. Now let us print created instance and then dot IP address. Okay. Yeah. Now let us run this. It will okay. It has created the MongoDB instance. It is created the Redis instance. Thank you. It is creating everything. So once it is created, now our responsibility is to get the Route 53 record also. Now again, how to create Route 53 record through AWS command line. This is the AWS documentation. This is the command AWS Route 53 change resource record sets and what is the hosted zone ID and then change patch. Either you can give sample.json like this. This is the command. Now let us create this. What is the hosted zone ID? You will get that from your Route 53. Here it is, hosted zone ID. You need to give ID. So this is our hosted zone ID. And then this is the change patch. Option is change patch. And now you need to give this thing. So inside this, you can give any comment. Okay, this is optional. And action, creating the record, and what is the record name. So generally here it is our $I dot our domain name. And just keep it inside variable also, domain name. And the value here is dollar IP address. Okay. Let me keep this. Change this. Remove this. Just keeping it here for not to confuse. Change batch. The color is not changed here. So inside this is double quotes. This is double quotes. This is also double quotes. This is fine. Okay. Yeah, this quotes is little bit generally confusing sometimes, but it is fine. I'm giving domain name equal to whatever domain you have, join DevOps.online. Okay. So now this is creating the instance, that is, it is storing the IP address in a variable, and then using that variable, mongodb.joindevops.online, and you will get the private IP address. Okay. So yeah, that's it. This should create the records. Now let's go here. So let me delete all the instances. This is one-time activity, not frequently. If you check, if you run this, then you will get an error. Now you pull. So now you will get it, and then you will get the record also. You can just check here. So this is the Route 53 record. So if you are using this script again and again, for example, daily you terminate the instances, right? And then you terminate the instances and you terminate the records. and you create them again using the script. Okay. Yeah, the instances are created. How can you improvise this script? Improvements. First, check instance is already created or not. And then update Route 53 record. Like this, you can improve. But for now, just for practice, if it is taking more time for you to create the instance and then updating the records, you can just use the script. Okay. Now I'm creating the Route 53 report. So once your practice is over, what you have to do, you need to delete all the instances except for me. You need to delete all the instances. And the next time you are creating the Route 53 records also, you need to delete all these records as well, because you will get the new records. So your script can create. Okay. As an improvement, you don't need to delete this record. You can just write AWS change record sets and then here update the one. Use different command to update the record with new IP address. That's it you can do. Okay, so the command is already available. There will be somewhere update. So inside this, there will be some action, right? Here action is create for now, because you are creating the record for the first time. If you are updating, the action can be different. Action can be update. Okay. So this is all about the shell scripting. Now let us discuss Ansible. Can you write the disadvantages of Ansible? Sorry, can you write the disadvantages of shell scripting? So what are the pains we have till now? One is shell script is homogeneous. Homogeneous, nothing but, so we are running a lot of scripting here. Okay. For example, I'm creating RoboShop user. The command here is RoboShop user. The command here is user add. Okay. That is this. Yeah, the command is user add. So this is only working for CentOS version. If it is Ubuntu, the command is add user. So what I mean to say is one shell script can only work for one particular distribution. Okay, the same script, it will not work for entire Linux servers. It means we have a lot of distributions. We have Ubuntu, CentOS, and then Debian, Fedora, and AWS Linux, and Oracle, SUSE. We have a lot of flavors. Okay, so that is the disadvantage. Your shell script will not work for all Linux servers. That is, it is called as homogeneous, not heterogeneous. And then second, every time we need to do validations. Okay. So everything, every time you write something, you need to validate. It is our responsibility. And the third thing, it is called as imperative. And before that, if you have 1,000 servers, you need to log in and run the script. Okay. So now we have 12 servers. How can you run the shell script for each server? You need to log in inside the server and you need to run it and you need to come out. Okay. So we automated the manual configuration through shell script, but still you need to log in inside the server and run the script. So if you have 1,000 servers, when your user base is too much high, then you may have a lot of servers. Each time you log into the server and run the script is very difficult. Okay, so that is another disadvantage. And the fourth disadvantage is imperative. Okay, so this is some concept called imperative versus declarative. So imperative is little tough generally. Declarative is easy syntax. Okay. And it is very strict as well. Very strict syntax and follows in sequence. Okay. So now let us just discuss that imperative versus declarative. So as I said, imperative is a sequence and declarative does not follow, no need to follow the sequence actually. So you can get easy to read as well. So we have Terraform, we have Ansible, those are all called as declarative. Whatever you write, you will get it. But imperative, just to say in a high level, the syntax is little bit difficult, and then you need to follow the strict syntax. In imperative, it follows the sequence, but declarative, easy syntax, no need of sequence actually. You can write anywhere. Okay, this is anyhow we are going to experience with our Ansible. Just for now, declarative is whatever you write, you will get it. Simple syntax. You can write it anywhere. This is declarative, and imperative is, it is little tough syntax. It follows only the sequence. Okay, so that is the disadvantage. You can go through this. Okay, this is fine. The entire summary is like this. Okay, so Ansible is declarative. Shell scripting is imperative. While writing Ansible, you will understand how easy it is than shell scripting. Now, these problems, whatever we have here, it is addressed by Ansible. Now, the first point, Ansible can query the server. It can understand what OS it is. Based on that, it can change the command. Okay, so this is the advantage of Ansible over shell script. Okay, and the second point, you no need to write validations. If something goes wrong, your script will automatically come out. And Ansible can connect any number of servers. You don't need to log into the server. No need to log in to the server. Okay. And it is declarative. No need of sequence. And easy syntax. Whatever you write, you will get it. Okay. So how it works is, this is Ansible server. And you will have lot of servers. These are called as nodes. This is node 1 and this is node 2 and this is node 3. This is node 1, this is node 2, this is node 3. Okay, we call them as nodes generally. So this is server. So your Ansible server can connect with all the nodes. Okay, so this is how it will work. Like this, you can have any number of servers. So generally we call it as nodes here. Okay, this is server, Linux node or Linux machines, whatever. So this follows generally, that is like pull mechanism. Sorry, this is push mechanism. Push. Okay, so there is pull mechanism before Ansible. Before Ansible, we have something called Puppet and then Chef. So what is the difference between pull versus push is, so this is your Chef server. Okay. And here you will have a lot of other nodes as well. So these are like node 1 and node 2. So in push, your server is pushing the configuration. In pull, your nodes will pull the configuration. Here, so this one will connect to the server and then it will push, it will pull. First, this one will connect and then this will pull. So let us understand the difference. Pull mechanism. So you have configuration server. Okay, that is nothing but Chef server here. And you have nodes. So how the pull mechanism will work here? First, nodes will connect to server and then second, it will pull the configuration and run the configuration. Okay, so this is the pull. What is push here? Same. There will be one configuration server. So this is Ansible. And here, nodes will not do anything. Server will directly push and run the configuration. So number of steps are reduced in push mechanism. Okay. Pull mechanism, what is another disadvantage here is we need to schedule how frequently nodes should connect to server. Like once in 30 minutes. Okay. So here the difference is every 30 minutes. So this node 1 and node 2 will connect to the Chef server. It will download the configuration and it will run it. So to connect them, they need to have some client software that is nothing but agent software. So this is called as agent. So using this agent, it will connect. So generally, when you are earlier, what was happening earlier in LIC use case? There are a lot of agents, like 10 years back. So we had LIC agents. First, you pay to agent, then agent pays to LIC office. Okay, so always there is an agent between you and LIC company. So that is you are not allowed to connect directly. So you should use particular person. Similarly, in Chef also, your nodes will not have any access directly to the server. First, it will through the agent software only it will connect. But nowadays, what happened? LIC use case. LIC is directly sending notifications about payment. Okay, so you don't need to have any agent. You can directly log into the LIC portal. You can take one policy and then you can directly pay to the LIC. Similarly here, in push mechanism, there is no need of agent. That is one overhead. You are removing that overhead. And whenever you want to push, you can directly push the configuration. Okay. So that is the difference. Any doubts here on this pull versus push and Ansible? Praveen Kottapalli. Yes, please. Sorry, your voice is not clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pull and push mechanism, right? So we also have a fetch mechanism, right? So how this will work?
What is that mechanism?
Fetch, fetch. What is the difference in pull and fetch? We are going to discuss in the future session.
Fetch is nothing but pull only. Maybe you are telling about the fetch in Git. I'm not discussing about Git here.
Okay, we are not going to use as
so this is purely configuration management.
okay.
So now how we configure our Linux servers. So we ran a lot of commands, right? So this is called as configuration. You are configuring the server, correct?
Yes.
Now, how difficult it is generally, for example, if the traffic is too much high, you will create the servers again, and then you will log into that and you will run this shell script. Okay. So that is somewhat difficult. Those are the disadvantages of we discussed now. So the disadvantage is you need to log in every time and then you run the script. But without logging in, we have Ansible server that can push the configuration directly. Soon we will see that.
Okay. So these agents you are talking about, right? Agents
This
means
is
yes, sure.
this is pull mechanism.
Pull mechanism.
Okay, in pull mechanism, you need to install another software that is agent software. Okay, so just like earlier 20 years back, you are not allowed to directly pay to the LIC. You have to pay to your agent. So that agent will go to the LIC office and he will pay the fee. Okay. So similarly here in pull mechanism, every Linux node here, they should have a software install agent and this agent will connect to the Chef servers. Now the overhead here is installing another software.
Okay. Pipelines, right? In pipeline agent, is that the same?
Pipeline, let's not discuss about the pipeline.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean, in CNCD also we use the agents, right? So is that agent related?
no, don't worry about that right now. That is different concept. Okay, this is different. And I need to tell you another disadvantage of pull mechanism. Okay, now this is popular interview question, push versus pull. Pull mechanism will have additional agent software, not only in configuration management, anywhere in software. Okay, push versus pull. And pull, there may not be change in configuration every time. Change in configuration every time. So as I said here, we need to schedule how frequently your node should connect to the configuration server. For example, every 30 minutes. Can you see? The traffic is becoming more. Every 30 minutes, there is some data consumption, there is some power consumption. Your node is connecting to the server and it is fetching it. So the data is consumed and the power is consumed. And mostly there will be no changes. Okay, so that is waste of data. Okay. Very rare. Change in configuration is very rare. So wastage of data. Okay. So once you configure the catalog server, so you will not change it. Okay. Whenever you release the new version, then only you will change it. You will go for deployment, right? So but here every 30 minutes your node is connecting to the Chef server and it is checking is there any change in configuration. If it is not, then it is not running it. If there is a change in configuration, then it will happen. But mostly there is no change in configuration. Once you install the catalog component, your users started using it. Whenever there is a change in software version or whenever they change in catalog version, then only you will have change. Otherwise, there is no need to upgrade the configuration. But every 30 minutes, it is connecting to the server, it is pulling the configuration, it is running it. That is wastage of data and power. That is the another disadvantages of pull mechanism. Push, whenever you want to do something, you can directly push it. You don't need to have any agent. That is the main advantage. And there is no wastage of data also. So that is why earlier Chef and Puppet, they were popular configuration management tools. From last few years, Ansible is the popular. Nowadays, we don't use Chef and Puppet. Everybody is using Ansible. And this is very simple. Ansible uses SSH. Okay, you no need to use any extra agent mechanism. Ansible connect to your servers using SSH and they can push the configuration. Okay, so instead of discussing more into theoretical, now let us install Ansible and then run it. Okay, so this is how to install Ansible is very simple. That is nothing but yum install and Ansible. Okay, I'm install Ansible. That's it. It has some theory over Ansible, how the Ansible is developed, how the Ansible is evolved. We will discuss that after we learn Ansible. Now, if I discuss, you will get bored. So Ansible is developed based on Python program. So that is why it is installing Python packages. Okay, now let me create one node. node 1. DevOps practice. We will see now how Ansible will connect. And so node 1. Yeah, this is our node 1, right? So I installed Ansible in workstation. Now this is our node 1. So I need to connect these two servers. Okay, let me take this Ansible server. This is nothing but workstation. And then this is our node 1. Okay, we need to connect this one, this two. So that is Ansible is installed. Now Ansible -i, it means inventory. What is the IP address of node 1? This is the IP address. Let us take the private IP. Okay. And then -m ping. I'll explain what is this. Ansible underscore user equal to CentOS -e. Ansible underscore password equal to DevOps 321. Okay. Very simple. Ansible command line to ping. Generally, we don't use command line. We'll use Ansible user. Just a second. This, this is the command line actually. Yeah, correct. I gave Ansible -m. What is the command you are using? Something is missing. Okay. Yeah. So you need to just give all. So it means, well, let us see this command. Anyhow, we are not going to use, but we will understand how Ansible is connecting. So you are telling Ansible, connect to this server. Okay. This is called as inventory. But now just you need to give comma and then all. So we'll discuss more about inventory things, and you need to give your username of the server and password of the server, and you are passing something to ping. Ping means it will, if the server is alive, it will give us pong. For example, if you give some random IP address like this, the server is not exist. Now what Ansible is doing, Ansible is trying to connect to this IP address with this username and password, and it is sending a ping. If the server is running and if the server is alive, then it will send a pong response. Okay, if it is not alive, you will get no response. Okay, so now you can see SSH in background. Ansible uses SSH mechanism. For SSH, what you need? You need IP address, username, password, or else private key. Now we are passing IP address, we are passing username, we are passing password. So now Ansible in background using SSH to connect to this IP address, and it is able to get the response. So if the server is alive, you will get the response. If server is not alive, you will not get the response. Okay. This is the command line. So just this command is just like your shell command. I mean your Linux command. We don't use Linux commands. We are using shell scripting. So if you keep all the things in your a file called that is playbook. So in shell, in Linux, you will call as shell script. Okay. So what is the shell script? Keeping all the commands in a file with conditions, loops, variables. Conditions, loops, something, etc. Similarly here, playbook. Keeping all the Ansible. Generally, instead of command, we call it as collections. So that is command in Linux. And run it. Okay. So in Ansible, we call it as playbook. Now let us write a simple playbook that can install Nginx within this Linux server, in this Linux node. Okay. So this is the node. I'll write a simple playbook that can install Nginx inside that. Okay. So that is Ansible playbook. So the command here is Ansible playbook, and we will create one inventory that is vim/temp/hosts. I'm creating it. Okay. Here I'm calling it as web. This is the syntax of inventory file. Just for today, I'm giving something. Tomorrow we'll discuss in detail. Okay. This is inventory, and you need to have something called playbook. But anyhow, we need to discuss AML structure. So playbook follows AML at another markup language. Okay. We will discuss about this in tomorrow's session, AML, how to write AML. And then, so what we do is, whatever the configuration we kept here, right, inside shell script, the same things we will keep it inside the playbook and we will run it so that Ansible can connect to that server without you logging in, and then it can complete the configuration. Okay. So yeah, anyhow, tomorrow we will discuss again. We will have a simple recap of the disadvantages of shell script and then how Ansible is getting addressed. And then we will start writing the playbooks. Now let us have a few questions. Abhishek? Balaji?
Yeah, good morning, Shiva.
Yeah, good morning, Abhishek.
We are not using SSH here, right? And in Ansible we are using SSH, but we did not configure the SSH to one server to another server. So how it is possible to connect with these two?
Suppose your laptop, from your laptop, you are using SSH command, right?
Okay. Okay.
The Linux servers,
Yeah.
Linux servers by default, it will have like SSH.
Okay. Okay.
So SSH is the authentication mechanism for Linux servers. So this is one Linux server. This is another Linux server.
Okay.
So in back, you are giving the IP address, you are giving the username, you are giving the password. So Ansible uses in background SSH mechanism. Okay. So for example, now SSH and then what is the username? CentOS @ Now I'll try to log in this. Let me exit. Here it is not known hosts. Such CentOS @ this IP address. Okay. Now which server I am in?
Yeah. Second server.
Okay, I'm in this second server.
Yes.
It means from one Linux server, I'm able to log into another Linux server using SSH.
So previously we configured SSH, right? One server, SSH keygen, and that public IP is configured in the second server, right? So here we are not using that scenario. Why? Even though it is connecting to the another server, how it is?
So
that is my question.
to connect to one server, you need IP address, username, and either password or public key.
Yeah, yes.
Private key, sorry. Okay. So we have all the information, and you are allowing in the security group also. So here the security group is allowing everything.
Yes.
So that is why you are able to connect.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't allow through the firewall, then obviously you cannot connect.
Okay.
So Ansible is running in background SSH command only.
Okay. Ansible is a serverless. SSH means serverless configuration, or SSH
secure shell.
secure shell. Okay. Thank you.
So Ansible is nothing new. Ansible is again using in background, it is SSH, it is using Linux commands, but it will give us some flexibility to handle multiple servers at a time. We will soon see that. Srinu, you have some question?
Yeah, hi, sure. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yes, without IAM role, is there any other way to connect the AWS CLI and automate the our infrastructure?
Yeah, we have. That is like you can create one user and configure that. But while discussing IAM concept, we can discuss that.
Okay, there is two ways with IAM one and another way is
With
different.
IAM role and with IAM user. But IAM user is recommended only for humans. Our
Okay,
EC2 service is not a human, right? So that is why we configure the role.
yeah, okay, understood. Yeah, thank you, sure.
Okay. Sheikh Ahmed.
Yeah, hi Shiva.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, in Ansible here, by default the colors are coming like if a success green and failure red.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And like while we are creating the EC2 instance with the JSON query for getting immediate public IP, we are giving public IP, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, can we give for private IP as well? Or it will usually take much time?
Public IP, it takes some time to get the IP address. So once you create the instance, you can sleep it for 10 seconds. And then you can have the AWS command to get the public IP address.
Okay.
Okay.
And sir, exactly like as of now, we are directly pushing the script to master, right? So
Yeah.
usually in the real time, how exactly we'll validate it? Like instead of pushing direct into master.
So that is at the time of Jenkins. We will do that. So we will create another branch and then we will take the pull request, we will verify, and then we will match it. Okay, so we are just learning shell scripting now. We are not concentrating too much on the Git. Okay, so step by step we can increase.
Regarding these like security, like IAM and creating instances, so everything will be the role of DevOps engineer only. There won't be any separate teams, right? Windows and
that is based on the project.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if possible and everyone is okay, can you declare tomorrow's holiday? Like there are so many things to practice. If it is okay for everyone, like the session
Okay,
videos.
we'll discuss this later. Let us have some questions on the topic.
Okay, fine.
Sukumar.
Hi, Shiva. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
My doubt is now you connected your, through the SSH to one machine to another.
Yeah, correct.
Like CentOS at the IP address.
Okay.
So how it is connecting? That is my doubt. Without RSA keys.
We are not using private key. We are using username and password.
Okay. But you are not used username and password. Just you use SSH CentOS at the IP address, right?
Yeah. See, now earlier, if you give like this, you need to give the password. Okay. Now,
Okay.
if you give like this, SSH pass, you don't need to give the password. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me show you one thing to clear the. So now what happened? Can someone tell me? So I ran this command. What happened? If you go to this server, it created the file called test. Now, did I log in here? I logged in here, but this is called as remote login. You didn't log in inside the server. Now I'm logging into the server 124. I'm just giving a command to run hello.txt. See, it logged into the server in the background and it created the file. Okay. So the same mechanism Ansible uses. Ansible in background uses SSH only, but you don't need to log in physically. This is called as remote login. Okay. So if I ask you to create a file in this IP address, in this folder, you need to log in inside the server and then you create the file. Okay. But Ansible uses remote login. It will issue this command in background and it can create the file for you. So that is what it does. Now, if I have 10 servers, I want to create the hello.txt in 10 servers. You need to log into the 10 servers and create the file. But Ansible uses this command in background and it will create the file. Okay. So today it may be confusing for you, but tomorrow we will make it more clear about Ansible, how it works in the background. This is very easy. For me, actually, Ansible is the very easy topic in entire DevOps. Okay. So we practice the toughest way, like we configure the project manually, and then we configure using shell scripting. Now we know everything. Now we are going to learn very easy way of doing the things. So till now we learned the hard way, that is manual configuration and shell scripting. Now we are going to learn very easy way, that is through the Ansible, and then after that Jenkins CI/CD. So everything will become very easy.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, most welcome. So any other questions?
Shiva, one more thing, like there is any need to install Python modules in client machines?
In very rare use cases, that anyhow we have that use case, we need to install a particular module when we are connecting to MySQL. We will discuss that.
Okay,
That's
no, not from MySQL, like from Ansible I'm asking.
For Ansible, you don't need to install anything. That is also one of the advantage we discussed in the push versus pull, right?
Yeah.
So here you need to install agent module to connect server and then node. But in Ansible, you don't need to install anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So wherever you install Ansible, that is called as Ansible server. Okay, so this is Ansible server. And from here, you can manage any number of nodes. Now you can see from within this server itself, I just tested the other server is alive or not. That is using Ansible, this one. From here, I issued a command to the another server. I'm just checking whether it is running or not. Now we got the response. It is running properly. Okay.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thanks.
Chandrasekhar.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi.
We already know the password of DevOps practice, right? If we don't know, if we have only PEM key, then how can we connect with the node?
Yeah, so you need to configure that private key inside this Ansible server.
We need to mention the path.
Yes, you need to mention that we have it. Configuration is there. So that is etc Ansible. Okay, so
But
there
the
is a
key-
location where you need to
Yeah.
configure.
Yeah, but the PEM key is in our local system, right?
You need to give it to this. See, wherever your laptop you want to connect to the another server. So you should have PEM key, correct?
Yes.
Otherwise you cannot connect. Similarly, if you want Ansible to connect to another server through the private key, then your Ansible server should have that private key access. Very
It means
simple.
it means the PEM key should be in the Ansible
Ansible
server.
Yes, correct.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
So those configurations are all anyhow in this etc Ansible. We will configure here properly, and then we will understand how Ansible is connecting. Okay, but there is no magic inside. It is using SSH. So that is the main advantage of Ansible. You don't need to install any extra packages. Ansible uses the default SSH mechanism to connect to your servers until the other side, the node, is allowing it to the firewall. Okay, that's it. So for this, we need to understand some structure that is AML. We will discuss that in tomorrow's session at another markup language. Okay, just for now, today you just read the push versus pull and advantages of shell Ansible over shell scripting. Okay, so that's all. Maybe today's session is boring because it is little theoretical. Have a nice day. See you in tomorrow's session. Bye-bye.